There aren't 3 kids in Peppa Pig's family. There are 5, and the show has been hiding them in plain sight. Between hidden attic scenes, disappearing babies, and a twin who was never meant to exist, we're putting together the full list of the Pig family's secret siblings. Before we talk about Evie or the evil twin, we need to start with the Pig family member who might have existed long before any of them, the mysterious Oscar Pig. Fans spotted a few strange clues that suggest Peppa once had a middle brother, and the show quietly pretends he never existed. The first big clue comes from the attic. Peppa's house does have one, but nobody goes up there, nobody ever mentions it, and everybody acts like it doesn't exist. When the lights suddenly cut out in the power cut episode, the family barely reacts. They don't check a fuse, they don't investigate the wiring, and they definitely don't go upstairs. Fans noticed how strange that was, especially because it feels more like something, or someone, tampered with the house from above. Then there's the huge clue on the family computer. In the episode Mummy Pig's Book, when Peppa and George play the chicken computer game, the scoreboard is filled with familiar names. But at the bottom sits one mysterious username, OOP. Fans think it stands for Oscar Pig, the missing middle child, which raises the funniest question of all. How did his name end up there? Did Oscar play this game back when he was still around? Does he sneak downstairs at night for secret high score battles? Or did the writers forget to delete the one clue that proves he ever existed? Whatever the reason, OOP is still on the scoreboard, like the computer is saying, nope, I'm keeping this name right here until someone explains it. But the biggest clue comes in the episode Baby Bump, when Peppa watches a video of herself as a baby, while Mummy Pig is already pregnant. That child can't be George, because he's meant to come years later. The timeline only makes sense if there was another child born between Peppa and George. Yes, you've guessed it, Oscar Pig. Some fans even believe George's favorite toy, Mr. Dinosaur, originally belonged to Oscar, which would explain why George refuses to give it up. Even when he gets newer, shinier dinosaurs, it's not just a toy. It might be the only thing left from the brother he never met. Whether Oscar was hidden, forgotten, or written out of the show, he's become Peppa Pig's oldest and strangest family mystery, and the perfect starting point for a story about every secret sibling the show never talks about. And if Oscar was the Pig family's first forgotten sibling, wait until you hear about the one who might still be hiding in plain sight. Now, if Oscar Pig is the forgotten middle child, then this next one is the child who was never meant to be seen at all. Years ago, Peppa Pig fans noticed something strange on an official Peppa Pig poster. The family is happily smiling outside their house. Perfectly normal, except for one tiny detail. In the downstairs window, there's a piglet face that looks exactly like Peppa, just silently watching from inside the house. At first, everyone thought it was a mistake, but then the fans gave her a name, Poppy Pig or Olivia Pig, or simply Peppa's evil twin. And suddenly the theory exploded. But whatever you call her, this piglet was never supposed to be there. And then the new house happened. In the Big Build episode, Daddy Pig and Mr. Bull rebuild the entire house. Bigger, brighter, with way more rooms. But here's the thing, they never moved house. They rebuilt it on top of the old one, which means whoever was inside the house before never left. And fans believe that includes the twin. In the new house, Peppa has a brand new room all to herself, but she still has the old bunk bed, except the bottom bunk is now covered by a curtain. So why keep a bunk bed if George has his own room now? Some fans think that the bottom bunk is the twin's space, the perfect hiding place where she can slip in and out without anyone noticing. And with Peppa's behavior changing from super sweet in one episode to super grumpy in the next, people started asking, are we always watching Peppa, or is her twin taking turns? For example, in George Catches a Cold, Peppa actually starts off acting like a caring big sister, worried about George and helping him rest. But later in the very same episode, her tone changes completely, and she suddenly complains that his coughing is too loud and shows no sympathy at all.
George, please don't sneeze so loudly. This is impossible.
And now that baby Evie has arrived, things get even messier behind the scenes. Peppa's twin is seeing the new baby get everything she never had. Evie gets her own nursery, while the twin is still tucked away behind Peppa's bunk bed curtain like a secret no one wants to talk about. So if this family really does have 5 children, the hidden twin isn't just lurking in the background. She's watching Evie step into the spotlight she's been denied. And that brings us perfectly to our next mystery, baby Evie herself. Unlike Oscar Pig or the mysterious twin, Evie Pig is the only new sibling we've officially met.
Evie!
Evie didn't just quietly appear one morning. Evie arrived with more fanfare than any pig before her. A royal-style announcement, TV interviews, even a whole cinematic special. Peppa never got that treatment, George definitely didn't. Oscar, he didn't even get a mention. And the twin, she's still fighting for screen time from behind the curtains. But Evie? Evie shows up and instantly becomes the new star of the house. And that alone tells us something important. If there is a forgotten brother and a secret twin lurking around, Evie is the one stealing their spotlight in every way, including the show's intro. For the first time in 20 years, Peppa doesn't just say,
"This is my little brother George."
She now proudly says,
"This is my baby sister Evie."
Which, if you're the twin hiding behind the loft bed curtain, is basically the ultimate insult. Even George probably feels it. He's been the adorable youngest for 20 years, and now there's a baby who is younger, cuter, and gets more merch than he ever did. George got a dinosaur, Evie gets a movie debut, and a sold-out doll. And now that the baby is here, it's finally time to look at the original siblings, Peppa and George, and how this huge family twist changes their place in the pig household. If the pig family really does have 5 children, then Peppa and George suddenly aren't the center of the universe anymore. Peppa has spent 20 years as the main pig, the face of the brand, the poster girl of muddy puddles. But with Evie officially here, and Oscar Pig and Peppa's mysterious twin lurking in the shadows of fan theory land, it puts Peppa in a hilarious new position. She's no longer the eldest, she's the eldest of a whole squad. And then there's George, sweet tiny George, who thought he was the little one forever. Well, not anymore. With Evie taking over the baby role, George is suddenly the big brother, the middle child, and maybe even the emotional replacement for Oscar Pig if that theory turns out to be true. Which actually explains a lot, like why George gets spoiled rotten with full museum-sized birthday parties and robot dinosaurs. The pig parents might be compensating for a lost piglet, while also preparing him for the new big brother role in the family. And if Peppa truly does have a twin hiding somewhere, then Peppa's entire vibe finally makes sense too. Those moments where she's strangely kind one second and absolutely feral the next? Yeah, maybe it wasn't Peppa at all. Maybe the twin popped out from behind the bunk bed curtain and filled in. So where does that leave the original two? Peppa becomes the leader of the pack, the sibling who's trying to juggle family chaos while pretending she has everything under control. George becomes the confused middle child, the one who isn't sure whether he should be teaching Evie to walk or guarding Mr. Dinosaur from whatever cursed attic secrets Oscar Pig left behind. And together, they're the frontline witnesses to the biggest pig family plot twist in Peppa Pig history. 5 children, 1 house. Now that the pig family has moved into their shiny upgraded home, something hilarious becomes obvious. This house wasn't built for 3 kids, it was built for 5. First, there's Peppa's room. She's got a loft bed with the entire bottom bunk sealed off behind a curtain. Hi, mysterious twin. Then there's the massive attic, bigger than the old one ever was. Perfect for a piglet who doesn't officially exist. Oscar Pig, we're looking at you. Next up, a brand new office with a brand new computer, just in time for mysterious logins like OOP to make a comeback. Convenient, right? Evie gets her own adorable nursery, George gets his own dinosaur kingdom, and there are still spare corners, cupboards, and extra space that magically don't belong to anyone. It's almost like Mr. Bull didn't just rebuild the house. He expanded it to fit a family that the show pretends doesn't exist. So when you put it all together, the new house wasn't designed for Peppa, George, and Evie. It's designed for the 5 pig children who are, officially or unofficially, part of the family. So after looking at all the clues hiding in Peppa's house, it's starting to look like the pig family might secretly be bigger than we thought. Tell us in the comments, how many pig children do you think actually live in that house? And if you love digging into Peppa Pig mysteries, spotting hidden clues, and uncovering weird secrets, make sure to check out our other videos too. Quick question, how many kids do you think the pig family actually has? Because it's not 3, and it's definitely not simple. There are 7 pig children scattered across the series, each one carrying secrets the show never clears up. So let's finally talk about them. All of them. Alexander Pig. We're starting with Alexander Pig, not because he's the most famous, but because he has way too many secrets for a character this small. He's the pig child everyone forgets about, until he quietly breaks the rules of the show and nobody comments on it. Because in a series where Peppa, George, and just about every child has stayed the same age for 20 years, Alexander quietly decided he wasn't doing that. When he first appears in the episode The Baby Piggy, he's presented as a proper newborn, tiny, bundled up, wearing a yellow baby onesie. Then comes the episode Baby Alexander, and something quietly changes. Alexander is no longer dressed like a newborn. He's bigger, he's being weaned onto soft food, and he's now wearing a toddler-style outfit that looks almost identical to George's, just yellow instead of blue. Peppa feeds him lunch herself, he's taken out in his buggy, and the entire family treats this update like it's completely normal. Which, in Peppa Pig terms, is definitely not normal. Peppa has been 4 for decades. George has been a toddler forever. Alexander, meanwhile, slides from newborn to toddler with no announcement, no joke, and no explanation. And then the episode gives us another odd detail. While talking about first words, we're reminded that Peppa's was mummy. Alexander's first word?
Puddle.
Not mummy or daddy.
Puddle.
Just the most Peppa-coded word imaginable, delivered after Peppa herself explains rain, ducks, and muddy puddles to him like she's running a nature documentary. So Alexander isn't just the only child who ages, he's developing on a completely different track. And then the episode The Noisy Night turns the weirdness up another notch. We're told Alexander likes noise. Not calming background noise, not soft bedtime sounds, but full-blown chaos. Vacuum cleaners roaring in the middle of the night, trumpets blaring, house alarms going off, even a rescue helicopter landing outside. And that's what finally sends him to sleep. In Peppa Pig terms, that's not a personality quirk, that's a red flag, which makes him feel less like a background cousin, and more like a child the show doesn't quite know what to do with yet. And if Alexander already has this many secrets as a baby, imagine what the show's hiding about his future. Oscar Pig. If Alexander is full of secrets because he breaks the rules, Oscar Pig is the secret because he doesn't even officially exist. And yet somehow the show keeps tripping over him. But fans didn't invent Oscar Pig out of nowhere. They noticed a pattern the show refuses to clean up. And it starts with the attic. Peppa's house absolutely has one. We see the layout, we know it's there, and yet nobody ever goes up. Nobody mentions it, nobody even reacts when something goes wrong that clearly should involve checking upstairs. In the episode The Power Cut, when the lights suddenly go out, the family barely blinks. No fuse box, no wiring check, no maybe something tripped. They just carry on like they've already agreed the attic is off limits and are used to something or someone in the attic doing this. Then there's the family computer. In the episode Mummy Pig's Book, Peppa and George play the chicken computer game, and the scoreboard is full of familiar names, except for one. Right at the bottom sits OOP, a name the show never explains and never removes. Fans quickly pointed out that it lines up a little too neatly with Oscar Pig, especially for a series that normally avoids unexplained details. And finally, there's the timeline problem. In the episode Baby Bump, Peppa watches a home video of herself as a baby, while Mummy Pig is already pregnant. That baby cannot be George, as there is at least a 2-year age difference between him and Peppa. Was there another child born between them? One who existed long enough to be filmed, named, and then quietly removed from the family history? That's where Oscar fits uncomfortably well. Fans even connect this to George's obsession with Mr. Dinosaur. The theory goes that Mr. Dinosaur didn't start with George at all. It was passed down, something that survived when Oscar didn't, and maybe why George is so obsessed with it. So do you think Oscar Pig really existed? Was he written out of the show on purpose? Or is he still hiding in plain sight? And what do you think is going on with the attic? Drop your theories in the comments. We read all of them. Chloe Pig. After Oscar, the child who might not exist at all, we move to a pig child who very much does exist, but still feels oddly out of place, because Chloe Pig has secrets, and the show keeps quietly dressing her in them. The first one is visual, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. In the episode Baby Piggy, when Peppa and George go to play outside at Chloe's house, Chloe's little playhouse has a flag flying from it. Not flowers, not hearts, not unicorns. A skull and crossbones. No explanation, no pirate game happening. It's just there. Like, this is completely normal decoration for a kid's toy house in Peppa Pig. Then, later on in the episode Chloe's Big Friends, Chloe turns up wearing a backwards pink cap, and once again, right on the front, the same skull and crossbones symbol. 2 separate episodes, 2 separate items, same symbol. And this is a show where nothing is accidental. Peppa Pig doesn't casually hand out danger symbols to children unless it means something, yet Chloe keeps getting marked with one that usually means rebellion, rule breaking, or being a bit outside the safe bubble, which fits perfectly with Chloe's other secret. She doesn't want to be grown up, she just really wants to look like she is. In Chloe's Big Friends, she puts on this whole performance, standing with the older kids, acting bored, pretending Peppa and George are babies who should probably be put in storage. And then the second a game starts, she's in, dancing, jumping around, So the mature cousin thing? That's just an act she switches on when it suits her, which suddenly makes those skull and crossbone details feel a lot less random, because that symbol keeps popping up around Chloe, like a quiet little warning sign saying this one isn't being totally honest about who she is. The evil twin, and then there's the pig child whose entire existence is treated like a secret nobody's allowed to mention. Because once you accept that Peppa might have a twin, everything the show does around her suddenly starts making a lot more sense, in a very uncomfortable way. Most fans already know the theory of Peppa's twin started with that infamous poster, the one where there's an extra Peppa-looking face in the downstairs window, so we won't dwell on that. What matters isn't how the twin was spotted, it's what the show has done ever since. Take Peppa's new bedroom in the rebuilt house. George finally gets his own room, which is fair enough, but Peppa keeps the old bunk bed anyway, and not just keeps it, the bottom bunk is now hidden behind a curtain like it's been officially retired from public viewing. Which is funny because if you did have a child you didn't want anyone asking questions about, that is exactly how you deal with it. You don't remove the bed, you don't draw attention to it, you just close the curtain and pretend it was always like that. And the evil twin theory makes even more sense once you look at Peppa's moods. One minute, Peppa's sweet and helpful. Next, she's bossy, snappy, and acting like everyone's ruined her life. And the show never explains it, which is odd. Unless it isn't one Peppa at all. Because sudden personality flips don't look like bad writing. They look like a swap. Same pig, different turn, and now Evie has arrived with a bang. Meanwhile, if there is a twin, she's still stuck behind a curtain in someone else's room, watching a brand new sibling get everything she never did. If Peppa's behavior feels more extreme lately, nicer one moment, nastier the next, it's hard not to wonder whether jealousy has turned the volume up, because secrets don't stay quiet forever. By the time you look at Peppa, George, and Evie together, the show starts feeling like a group of children all quietly carrying different secrets. Let's start with Peppa, because hers might be the biggest. Peppa isn't just the big sister anymore. She's the one who knows what's going on. If the evil twin theory is even half true, then Peppa isn't just sharing a bedroom, she's sharing the spotlight, which might explain why she's lovely one minute and absolutely feral the next. And if there really is another pig hiding behind that curtain, Peppa learned very early that this is one of those family secrets you just don't bring up, which might explain why she's suddenly juggling a lot more than the show admits. Peppa isn't managing one younger sibling anymore. She's dealing with George, Evie, and potentially at least one secret pig no one wants to acknowledge. That's a lot of pressure for a kid who already hates losing control, hates not being the center of attention, and struggles with patience at the best of times. Then there's George. George's secret isn't that he's quiet, it's that he's been quietly replaced. He spent 20 years as the baby, and then Evie turned up. No warning, no adjustment period. If that doesn't create jealousy, nothing does. And finally, what's Evie's big secret? No pig child has ever been introduced like Evie. Public announcements, interviews, a rewritten intro, new focus, new merch. Evie doesn't arrive like a sibling, she arrives like a successor. The show never says it out loud, but the message is pretty clear. Evie isn't just joining the family, she's being positioned for the main lead. So when you really look at it, the pig family doesn't feel small at all. It feels crowded. Crowded with secrets, missing explanations, and kids who don't quite fit the neat little story the show wants us to believe. 7 pig children, 1 family, and a lot of things no one ever talks about. So now we want to know, which pig child do you think has the biggest secret? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoy uncovering Peppa Pig's weirdest mysteries, hidden clues, and secrets the show definitely didn't mean for us to notice, check out our other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching. Last time we proved that there aren't 3 kids in the pig family. There are 5. Oscar Pig, the evil twin, Peppa, George, and baby Evie. But here's the thing, we only scratched the surface, because each of these 5 kids is hiding something the show desperately doesn't want you to figure out. And if these secrets ever got out, the entire Peppa Pig universe would collapse. We're talking lawsuits, family therapy sessions, a very awkward interview on Good Morning Britain. Today we're exposing what each of the 5 pig kids actually wants, and the secrets that could destroy this family if anyone ever talked about them out loud. Starting with the kid the show erased from existence. Oscar Pig, what he secretly wants to be remembered. Oscar Pig is the Pig family's biggest cover-up. He existed, the evidence is right there, and yet the entire family acts like mentioning his name would summon a lawyer. Let's talk about the attic. Peppa's house has one. You can see it from the outside, but they avoid going up there. In the power cut episode, the lights cut out. Normal people would check the fuse box, maybe investigate the attic wiring. The Pig family, they just sit there in the dark, like going upstairs is a crime scene they're not allowed to touch. Suspicious? Absolutely. Which makes us think, has Oscar secretly made it his bedroom? Then there's the computer evidence that the animators forgot to delete. In the episode Mummy Pig's Book, when Peppa and George play the chicken game, the scoreboard is full of family names, except at the very bottom sits OOP, Oscar, Pig. So either Oscar's ghost is logging in at 3 a.m. to keep his high score alive, or someone in this family is pretending he never existed while his username is literally still on the computer. That's not a glitch, that's a confession. But the smoking gun, the baby bump episode, Peppa's watching a home video of herself as a baby. Cute, right? Except Mummy Pig is pregnant in that same video. That baby can't be George. George comes way later. The math doesn't work. Unless there was another kid. A middle child born between Peppa and George, who mysteriously vanished from the family timeline like a deleted Instagram post. And here's the kicker. George's beloved Mr. Dinosaur? Probably Oscar's. Which means George has been carrying around his missing brother's toy for 20 years, and nobody's told him. That's not sentimental. That's a psychological thriller. Oscar's secret revealed. Oscar's not gone. He's in the attic, and he's been leaving breadcrumbs, hoping someone will finally acknowledge he exists. The computer login, the toy, the forbidden upstairs. If this ever came out, if a journalist dug into the Pig family history and found evidence of a missing child, this isn't just a scandal. This is a Netflix documentary waiting to happen. Oscar Pig, the brother they tried to forget, coming soon. Peppa's twin, what she secretly wants, Peppa's life. If Oscar is the family's buried secret, the evil twin is the one hiding in plain sight. And she's not happy about it. Years ago, eagle-eyed fans spotted something deeply unsettling on an official Peppa Pig poster. The family's outside, smiling for the camera. Standard promo material, except in the downstairs window, there's another face. A piglet who looks exactly like Peppa. Just staring, watching, waiting. The internet lost its mind. Was it a mistake? A ghost? Peppa's reflection from a weird angle? Or was it the twin sister the Pig family's been hiding in the house like a Victorian scandal? Fans named her Poppy Pig, Penny Pig, Olivia Pig, the evil twin. Doesn't matter what you call her. What matters is that she was never supposed to be in that picture. And then the house got rebuilt. The Big Build episode gave the family a massive upgrade. More rooms, better layout, the whole thing. But here's what's wild. They didn't move. They rebuilt the house on top of the old one, which means everyone who was inside before, still there, including the twin. And now, in Peppa's brand new bedroom, she's got a fancy loft bed with the bottom bunk hidden behind a curtain. George has his own room now, so why does Peppa still need a bunk bed? Unless someone's living down there. Someone the family doesn't want you to see. And honestly, it would explain why Peppa's personality is all over the place. Take the episode George catches a cold. Peppa starts the episode as the sweetest big sister, worried about George, taking care of him, being responsible. Then suddenly, mid-episode, she snaps,
George, please don't sneeze so loudly. This is impossible.
Same episode, same day, completely different pig. So which one is Peppa, or are we watching both? The twin's secret revealed. The twin isn't evil, she's furious. She was born at the exact same time as Peppa, same parents, same house, same DNA. But for some reason, the Pig family chose to show off Peppa and shove her twin behind a curtain like a shameful family secret. So the twin does the only thing she can. She takes Peppa's place when no one's looking. Those mean Peppa moments? That's not Peppa. That's the twin finally getting her turn. And now that baby Evie's arrived with royal announcements and sold out dolls, the twin is watching from behind that curtain, seeing another sibling get everything she was denied. If this ever came out publicly, if someone proved there are two Peppas and the show's been hiding one, we're talking identity fraud, psychological damage, family court. It would be headline news. Peppa Pig's secret twin, the sister they hid for 20 years. Peppa Pig, what she secretly wants to stay #1. Let's be real, Peppa's had it good. She's been the face of this franchise for 2 decades. The intro, the branding, the muddy puddles, the international fame, all Peppa. But now, the throne is shaking because Evie's here. And for the first time ever, Peppa has to share the spotlight. Even the show's intro changed for Evie. For 20 years, Peppa said,
This is my little brother George.
Now she also says,
This is my baby sister Evie.
And Peppa, she's still the main character, technically, but she's not the only character anymore. Which brings us to Peppa's personality. She's bossy, controlling, micromanages everything, but there's a reason she acts this way. Peppa's secret revealed. Peppa knows about the twin. She has to. Someone's living in the bottom half of her bed. Someone who looks exactly like her. Someone who keeps sneaking out and pretending to be her. And Peppa's keeping quiet about it. Why? Because as long as the twin stays hidden, Peppa remains special. The moment the twin gets revealed, Peppa's not unique anymore. She's just one half of a matching set. So Peppa manages the situation, keeps the secret, stays in control, because losing the spotlight to baby Evie is survivable. Losing it to an identical twin who's been locked in a bunk bed for 20 years? That's Peppa's nightmare. George Pig. What he secretly wants to not be replaced. George spent 20 years as the baby of the family. The cute one, the quiet one, the one who could say dinosaur and get a standing ovation. But then Evie showed up, and suddenly George isn't the youngest anymore. He's the middle child, stuck between Peppa's control freak energy and Evie's baby monopoly on cuteness. And George? He's not handling it well. First, the Mr. Dinosaur obsession. George clings to that toy like it's a life raft. He takes it everywhere. He refuses upgrades. Even when he gets newer, fancier dinosaurs, Mr. Dinosaur stays number one. Why? Because Mr. Dinosaur probably belonged to Oscar. Which means George isn't holding a toy. He's holding evidence of a brother who vanished. Second, George gets spoiled rotten. Museum birthday parties, robot dinosaurs, constant parental attention. Is it because George is adorable? Or is it because Mummy and Daddy Pig are terrified of losing another kid and overcompensating? George's secret revealed. George knows something's off. The clues are everywhere, and he doesn't want to be replaced because he already is the replacement. Evie Pig, what she secretly wants. Nothing, she's a baby, but Evie's different from the other four. She's the only pig kid who got the full celebrity treatment when she was born. Town crier announcement, interviews with the parents, cinema specials, sold out dolls. Peppa didn't get that. George didn't either. Oscar got erased. The twin got shoved behind a curtain. But Evie? Evie shows up and instantly becomes royalty. Except there's a problem. In Peppa Pig Tales Evie's Day, when the family brings Evie into her new bedroom, something strange happens. Evie's looking around. On her right cheek is a heart-shaped birthmark. That's Evie. That's her signature. But a few frames later, Evie turns her head. Same cheek, same angle. The heart-shaped mark is gone. Now it's just a round spot. Birthmarks don't change shape. So either this is the worst animation error in Peppa Pig history, or that's not the same baby. And here's the thing, the official Peppa Pig YouTube channel once titled a video Evie has a twin. They said it out loud on the official channel. And Evie's nursery? It's huge, way bigger than it needs to be for one baby. Plenty of space for 2 cribs. Evie's secret revealed, the pig family didn't have one baby, they had twins. Again, maybe they're prone to twin girls. The plot thickens. And just like with Peppa, they're parading one around while hiding the other. Evie gets the announcements, the toys, the spotlight, and somewhere in that nursery, tucked in a corner the camera doesn't show, is baby number 2, the one they're not talking about. The pig family has a twin problem, and it's happening again. So there you have it, 5 pig kids, 5 secrets, 5 potential scandals that could bring down the entire Peppa Pig empire if anyone ever talked. Which secret shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments. And if you love exposing Peppa Pig's darkest secrets, check out the playlist. Thanks for watching.
Okay, places everyone. She'll be here any minute.
On May 20th, 2025, Peppa Pig's world changed forever. At exactly 5:34 a.m., a brand new piglet joined Peppa's family, Evie Pig. But something about this birth felt different. Not just because it was announced on TV, royal style, but because we found clues from before, during, and after Evie's announcement that suggest something suspicious is going on. Could Peppa Pig be knocked off the top spot by her baby sister Evie? These clues reveal her hostile takeover has already begun. Clue 1. The royal style birth announcement. Evie didn't arrive quietly. She made headlines. In fact, she got the kind of welcome usually reserved for real-life royalty. Her birth was announced at the famous Lindo wing of St. Mary's Hospital in London, the very same place actual British royal babies were born. But it didn't stop there. Evie's arrival was revealed to the world by a town crier on live television.
Town crier is very pink, isn't he?
Yeah.
Exactly like a royal announcement. The news quickly spread across social media, making Evie an instant trending topic. Even Mummy Pig herself joined the media frenzy, giving an exclusive televised interview about her new piglet and the excitement in the family.
Evie Pig, how did Peppa and George react to everything? It's a big change.
Oh, they could hardly contain themselves. But they were so gentle and sweet, too.
She shared how thrilled Peppa and George were, and how Daddy Pig got a little emotional meeting Evie for the first time. Peppa never had anything close to this kind of attention when she was introduced. Clearly, the creators went above and beyond to signal Evie as someone truly special. Why is Evie getting this VIP treatment? Is this just hype? Or are we witnessing the rise of Peppa Pig's successor? Clue 2. Baby Evie's debut timing. Did you notice exactly when Evie Pig arrived? Her first appearance isn't hidden in a normal episode somewhere. It's the star moment of the brand new special Peppa Meets the Baby, released on May 30th in cinemas. Think about that. Evie's introduction is not just casually tucked away on TV, it's on the big screen at the very start of a highly anticipated special. That's not just a cameo, that's a spotlight. According to the official Peppa Pig fandom wiki, Evie is also confirmed as part of the Series 9 main cast. What does this mean? Well, her appearance frequency is almost certainly going to skyrocket, and that's huge, because in animation, the more you see a character, the more important they usually become. The clues don't lie. And Evie is not being presented as a side character. She's the new headliner, and Peppa's era is looking muddy. Clue 3. The first major character addition in 20 years. The creators waited 20 years before adding a new member to Peppa's immediate family. That's a big deal, and shows only do something this big when they want to change direction. When Evie was announced, Daddy Pig got emotional, and Peppa and George were described as thrilled.
Peppa and George were so excited to meet their new little sister.
But pay close attention to Daddy Pig's emotions. He spoke about the future and change. Daddy Pig almost never gets that serious. He's usually funny and cheerful. Why was he so emotional here? Could the creators be hinting that Evie's birth is a bigger turning point than we think? When baby Alexander was introduced in the episode The Baby Piggy, he quickly became a regular face in the show. But he was just a cousin, not part of Peppa's immediate family. Evie, on the other hand, is Peppa's actual sister, and that changes everything. We can only assume the entire family dynamic is going to change in a big way. Clue 4. The name, Eevee. Is this a subtle nod to evolution? In Pokemon, Eevee is a character that transforms into many different forms, possibly a quiet reference to growth, change, and new beginnings. Plus, Evie Pig's name isn't random. It comes from Mummy Pig's great aunt, tying Evie directly to Peppa's deeper family history. When characters have special names linked to the family, it usually means they'll become very important. Take baby Alexander again. His name came from Daddy Pig's side, and he's now a regular guest. But Evie's family connection is even closer and stronger. Could this mean she's destined for bigger things than even Peppa? Clue 5. Peppa's growing up. Peppa Pig is 4 years old, and she's been that way for 20 years. But a brand new baby means time in Peppa's world is finally moving forward, and that changes everything. Think about it. Evie won't stay a tiny baby forever. Eventually, she'll join playgroup, just like Peppa did. And when that happens, Peppa will logically become too old for Madame Gazelle's class. Remember the episode Madame Gazelle's Leaving Party? Peppa and her friends face the idea of growing up and dealing with change. Evie's arrival fits into this picture. It's the perfect reason for Peppa to finally head off to big school, starting new stories, bigger adventures, and changing the whole dynamic of the show. But here's the catch. Peppa Pig's core format revolves around the playgroup setting. Losing that would drastically change the show. That's exactly why Evie's introduction might be happening right now, to ensure a smooth transition. If Peppa grows up and moves on to bigger adventures, Evie naturally slides into Peppa's spot at playgroup, becoming the new playful, curious piglet at the center of all the fun. Clue 6. Toy and merchandise strategy. Evie's billion-dollar potential. Evie Pig isn't just a new character, She's a billion-dollar bet. A recent Guardian article even called her arrival a potential billion-dollar move. That might sound extreme, but it's not just hype. It shows how seriously the creators are taking Evie at the corporate level. Here's why it matters. A new character means an entire new merchandise line. And Evie Pig opens the door to countless baby-focused products. In fact, Evie's first official plush toy sold by Walmart was already released shortly after her announcement, and it sold out immediately. Fans rushed to grab it, making it clear Evie has already made a big splash. But here's the crucial point. This merchandise strategy only succeeds if Evie is a prominent character, not just hanging around in the background. The creators need fans to form a connection with Evie, to love her adventures and milestones as much as they love Peppa's. With a big spotlight on Evie, every new step she takes, first words, first steps, first day at playgroup, becomes a new merchandising opportunity. Each milestone could mean new toys, books, and even TV specials dedicated entirely to Evie's adventures. So, if you're wondering if Evie is just a cute baby piglet or the next big superstar in children's entertainment, the toys tell the truth. Clue 7. George never took the spotlight. Is it his time? George Pig has always been adorable, but let's face it, he's mostly been Peppa's little sidekick. While Peppa gets all the big adventures, George tends to stick quietly by her side, clutching his dinosaur and giggling. But here's an interesting thought. What if Evie's arrival doesn't just mean a spotlight for Evie herself? What if it's also George's big chance to shine? Think about it. With Peppa potentially heading off to big school or stepping into new adventures, George would naturally step up into the role Peppa once held, the older sibling. Now he'd be the one teaching little Evie how to jump in muddy puddles, share toys, and even handle those tricky dinosaur roars. Evie, on the other hand, would comfortably slide into George's old spot, the cute, playful younger sibling. That dynamic could keep the show's original charm alive, with a fresh twist. It's not just Peppa passing the baton to Evie, it's George stepping up to finally claim a lead role himself. In short, Evie Pig's arrival might not just be Evie's big moment, it could also be the moment George Pig steps out from behind his sister and into a starring role he's always deserved. So, is Peppa Pig about to become Evie Pig? Not just yet. But from the clues we've seen, the royal birth, the toy launches, the timing, the teasers, something big is clearly happening. What do you think? Is she the next star, a playful sidekick, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your theories. And if you love digging into Peppa Pig mysteries, spotting hidden clues, and uncovering weird secrets, make sure to check out our other videos too. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because we've got even more Peppa Pig twists on the way.